What?
How did you do it? Like, I think
I had an excellent husband who I trusted to watch his children while I was out working.
Yeah.
That's really it. People act like it was the whole, I was lucky in that way. A lot of women don't have that. Before I even started comedy, I remember being out on mom nights and having my friend's husband call to ask where the ketchup is. Shit, like, my husband wasn't like that. So, or what does this kid eat? Shit like that. No, my ex-husband was like an excellent dad. And so even though he didn't understand what the hell I was doing, I knew I could leave my kids while I went and trust him to keep them alive and fed and on the go while I was doing it. So
how did you know stand-up was the thing you should be doing?
I really enjoyed it. That was it. Yeah.
It did feel like you were a comedian that like people in comedy were paying attention to and like what's next. And like generally, I had an experience with you that I've had with a handful of comedians, which is like the first time I see you, I was like, how is this person both new to me and so good and so assured and so fully realized? And often it is the case where it's like people who started comedy slightly later in life. They just have the benefit of living a life and having things to talk about, having a sense of who they are. Broadly, how did the life you had before you do comedy focus you in terms of what you want to talk about when you were deciding to become a comedian?
Not necessarily what I wanted to talk about, but how I went about pursuing it, in that I had children and a husband at that time and no time to waste. So a lot of comedians, even though they start young, they don't have any responsibilities. So a lot of them have an alcoholic phase or a drug phase or a partying phase. I did none of that. I just went to the show. I did my show and I went home because I got to get people to school the next day and stuff. So it gave me a focus that, a lot of comics didn't have. So you can start young and waste 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and then it works out that we kind of started at the same time, because that's when you lock in, like, oh shit, I have no health insurance, whatever. Yeah. And then that's when comedians
when you
usually
moved to New York, did you feel a phenomenon where people were like, how is this person just moved here and so? Because I felt like you.
Well, yes and no, in that, I'm sure I started in the Midwest, and by the time I got here, all those comics that I was performing with in New York had already seen me. They had come through, and that's how I knew to even where to go to. And also, I remember at that time, that was like the heyday of comedy podcasts. So I really was like listening, taking notes. These are the shows you should do. Oh, this person started here. This is the show you should do. This is the booker for. It was so much free information. I remember I would get pissed because people would ask me like, "How do you get started?" I'm like, the answers are all out there. Like I would always be like, "You're not serious," because the answer is there. So I don't think people who were already good were surprised to find me. I know, like, now that I'm kind of out of the scene, I don't really know who the new comedians are. So when like Chris Rock came across me, he had no idea. But that's because he's out of the he's not at the open mics or the smaller comedian run shows. So that makes sense. And then anyone else who was like a road comic or whatever had heard of me, because I was like heavy on the road at that time.
Did you have a sense of who told Chris about you?
He saw me, I believe, at the Cellar and just didn't tell me. And then like maybe asked for my info and then called me after. And I had no idea he had seen me.
Yeah, so the story is...
There's a guy. So he has a guy, Chuck Sklar, who told him to come see me. That's what it was. Told him to come see me. I wrote on a show with him. 50 cents for a show. 50 cents for a sketch show was my first writing job. Chuck Sklar was on that show. He told Chris about me. Chris came and saw me and then called me later. Yep.
Do you have any memories from 50 Cent, working on the 50 Cent sketch?
Yeah, he was so scary, but cool with me. Scary to everyone else, cool with me. He would come in, he'd say it needs more money and bitches in the fucking sketches. Like, this is too square. It was a lot of white dudes writing, and I was like, yeah, that's what I said, 50. And I also agree. More bitches and money. I thought it was fun. It was loose. He had a lawyer that seemed like he was in a mob. Other rappers would come through. That was a pretty cool job.
That sounds like a cool job.
That's a pretty cool job.
So I believe that
he had just launched his underwear line. That was weird. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, Actually, no. Feel free to just remember things.
Yeah, I remember because I remember I came in and he like put 2 packages in my hand, like 50-cent underwear or whatever. I think he was launching a lot of things around that time, but he was cool. He was always nice to me, but people were scared of him, as they should be. Yeah, that's how you command respect.
Yeah. So you met Todd Barry, I believe, and then through Todd, you also met, I believe, Hannibal around this time, Hannibal Buress, and then like Todd introduced you to Eugene Merman, and then you're just sort of like, when I moved here, it seemed like you're like able to be part of the Brooklyn comedy scene at that time. Since the Brooklyn comedy scene is not really like it was, like obviously there are still shows there, but the alternative.
No, I don't know.
I'm telling you, people do it, but it does not feel like a specific community of like only this thing. And
does anything?
No.
Yeah, there is no community anymore. So
can you describe what it's like for the children who are not around then? What it was like? What was like
the Brooklyn comedy scene? Okay, gather around, kids. It was no.
Or what was even like for you?
I came in during the height, the rise of the alt scene, which I thought was very exciting. So you have like the Chris Rock era; those are the superstar comedians, and then you have I miss like the Def Jam era where everything was like urban comedy, and then this started, and then you had the road There's so many segments of comedians. I don't know if that still exists, but you have the road comics who just are always on the road, and they do all the chuckle huts all across the land and everything. And then in New York and maybe in LA, I hadn't gone out there. There was the alt comedians who were, because they were doing what was called alternative comedy, weren't really playing in the clubs, and so they started doing comedy in like rock band venues and the back of a bar and a roller skating like wherever. And I think Eugene Merman was like one of the first people to do that. And the lore is they wouldn't pass him at the Cellar. They wouldn't let him perform at the Cellar, which I don't know how he would go over there. So I don't know. And so I came in during that time, and so it was good for me in that I got to make a name for myself before and without having to kiss ass at the clubs. You know, I don't think I was alternative. I was alternative in that I was a Black person not doing quote unquote urban comedy. So that put me in that category, but it also got me the money faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about when you started out, you had a family at the time, which is different than a lot of comedians.
I still got a family. Well, they're dead. No.
Yeah, that's all we talked about. The tragic demise of your entire family.
So many gotchas on this podcast, I swear.
It was like a sort of Mrs. Maisel situation. Did you watch Mrs. Maisel?
I sure didn't.
Sure. So Mrs. Maisel. Of course,
I'm a comedian. I'm like, I'm not watching it.
I know. I didn't know if you like read the Mrs. Maisel Wikipedia page. So essentially, Mrs. Maisel is.
I heard it's great. Yeah.
And she's raising those kids, and then like, unlike Mrs. Maisel, she has a reason that she does stand up for the first time, and then she does stand up, and then like, the kids are not a major part of the show. How was it for you? Like,
now that you say that, I think that's why I didn't watch Miss Maisel. It was like I was like, hey, too similar to what I'm going through. How
did you do it? Like, I think
I had an excellent husband who I trusted to watch his children while I was out working.
Yeah.
That's really it. People act like it was I was lucky in that way. A lot of women don't have that. Before I even started comedy, I remember being out on mom nights and having my friend's husband call to ask where the ketchup is. Shit, like, my husband wasn't like that. So, or what does this kid eat? Shit like that. No, my ex-husband was like an excellent dad. And so even though he didn't understand what the hell I was doing, I knew I could leave my kids while I went and trust him to keep them alive and fed and on the go while I was doing it. So
how did you know stand-up was the thing you should be doing?
I really enjoyed it. That was it. Yeah.